because I'm hoping everyone speaks them. Okay, so Windows. So while I'm just trying to figure out Windows, take your class. And Buffalo. That's the easiest way to make your dreams come true. It often works, but not every time. So, okay, so let's talk about stuff. The first thing is that decisions. In your life, you very often have this thing that you have to choose between things, such as which school will I go to? Shall I go to DTU or shall I go study art? Okay. Probably not a big or who will you have as your life partner? These kind of decisions happen. And they shape you. They shape who you are, what you do. And one other decision that you often have to make, which shapes a very big part of you, is where you go to work. For example, this place. Really good. He's loving it. Because you spend most of your life at work, unfortunately. So what you do for work, what job you choose, actually really makes who you are. So let's take out the matrix. Very good tip, if ever any one of you goes into consulting, then if you call this a matrix on the table, then you can charge twice. So there are different types of jobs that you can do. There's the secure category. There are jobs that are a bit more of a gamble, you don't know what's going to happen. Then there are jobs that pay you $1 US or 3 euros. So it's a difference of 6 times. So, can someone tell me a job that pays less, so in dollars, and is a secure option, something that can't really fail?
Teacher.
Right, any comments?
I agree.
Well, there are many of these jobs. I didn't write the teacher, but let's say if you're a secretary, then, well, okay, of course you can get fired and this things happen, but normally you should be able to keep your job. Or if you work as a cashier in Rimi, then unless you do something really stupid, you will have your job. So, can you tell me something that pays in euros and is quite a secure thing? Like
Judge, ametnik. Consultant.
Good?
Consultant.
Consultant. Well, you can be a doctor, those people are always needed. Or if you have an engineering degree, then theoretically you should always be employable. Let's try another one, this one. A job that's quite a gamble, you have no idea what the hell is going to happen, and doesn't really give you anything either.
Musician.
Art musician. If you work in Hesburger, there's always some other dude who will come and do your job for half the price. So. Or if you're in telemarketing, probably you will be outsourced to India or whatever. Okay, and now this category, it's basically if you start your own business, do a startup or these kind of things. So, let me tell you first about what I want to do. So the title was how to make your dreams come true. What are your dreams? That's one question. First, before making them true, you actually have to know what to make true. Logic, engineering. So, what would I like to do? I have always liked computers, technology, and these kind of things. And especially like all sorts of cool gadgets. And I would happily be working for a company, which I would have to start as well, which would make these kind of things. Like, you know what these are. Self-driving car, there's a new mode of air transport, there are Google glasses. These three Arduino ones that actually exist. This is a electronic notepad, it's kind of cool things. But to do all these things, one needs money for some reason. There's always the option of doing it on Kickstarter like these guys did, raised some millions of dollars, not euros. But there is a bit other way, which is, who knows what's a startup? It's basically, one definition is that you compress your entire working life into 5 years. This is how a startup works. So how does it go? Is that you start with an idea, or you find someone who has an idea. Both options can work, and you don't usually do it alone. It's better to do it with other people because well, you just synergy, buzzwords. You get an idea, and ideas are cheap. You can find an idea of what to do anywhere, and everyone is also willing to usually share their ideas. You just ask, or if you have an idea, you can ask for feedback. It's not hard to come up with an idea of what to do. If the idea works or makes you money, that's a different question, of course. And for that, you do one idea, and then you do another one, and then another one, until you finally get something that works. Once you get the idea, then you ask for money to implement it. So this is raising venture capital. This guy invented a wheel, but it doesn't work correctly. This guy is not willing to raise money. And then you select Google. That's how it works. There are thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people right now in Silicon Valley whose main goal in life is to build a company and sell it to Google, Twitter, or whoever. And the end result is that your money problem is solved. So now you can do whatever the hell you want. So this is what I'm trying to do. And maybe someday I will get there. I'm not there yet. So if you want to have a lot of money, just do this. Simple. So now I have solved your work problem, I hope. Let's go on. And if you have this money, then of course you can do whatever you want to make the world a better place. Romantic. Okay, but that's kind of like what I would like to do, to build these kind of things. I had a small survey where I asked those willing volunteers to fill in what they want to do in their lives. And these are basically the answers that I got. Some people want to own a successful company, many want to have a family. There was one person who wanted to become the president of Estonia. If someone wants to be the president of Estonia, then I can go. I support. People want just to do challenging work, so not to get bored at work, but to have something meaningful, to be satisfied, to be useful to society, leave the world a better place, so better than you found it, not crap all over it, bit, and just to be great at their job. But when I also asked how are people spending their days, how productive they are, I got these answers that usually people have a lot of rushing around. I see you reading the slides. Okay, most people get stuff done, but there is always a lot of time for Facebook. No one is ever too busy to check Facebook. And one other thing is that if you don't have a motivation for whatever you're doing, then you will just not really do it. Because well, you're not motivated, you don't have to do it. So people have dreams, they want to do great things, but there is also a problem that not a lot of stuff usually gets done. So why is that? I don't know, I'm asking you. Any ideas? Margus has an idea.
Limited time.
Limited time.
Comfort zone.
No focus.
No focus, comfort zone.
Lack of burning desire.
Why
Lack
not?
of burning desire. What?
Why not?
Why not? Usually, what I have seen is that if people have some kind of passion towards something, and they live a life that's driven by this passion, then they get their shit done. They don't sit around doing Facebook if they really want to do something. So maybe it can be helpful to sometimes just sit down, have a glass of wine or a bottle, and think of what you want to do with your life, and then devise a plan to do it. Cheers. So, now to the point that you've all been waiting for. How to make your dreams come true, whatever they are. And hopefully by this time you have already figured out what are your dreams. If not, then I have one more glass. So first step is you find the road that you want to take. That's what I just said. And find it however you want to do it, and then do it. But actually, there is more to it, because if you just want to do it and you will not do it, then well, you will go to Facebook. Tweet something or post a blurry picture on Instagram. There's this very nice concept called inevitability, which is if you want to get something done, make sure that it's inevitable that you get it done, that there is no other way but to get it done. For example, if you have a plan to go to the gym 3 times a week, have a training partner who will be with his car at your door every day at that time, and who will not be as happy as this guy. If you want to wake up early in the morning, if you want to wake up every day at 6:30, write a friend a quick email saying, hey, if at 6:45 I haven't written to you a long mail saying that I'm up, I will pay you 50 euros. It works. I once had a bet where I asked everyone who likes something on Facebook that if I fail in my goal of not drinking alcohol for a month, then I will give everyone 50 euros who liked it. The total was 1,000 likes. No matter how much I wanted that glass of wine, it's not worth 5,000 euros. So, whatever you want to do, just make it that it's inevitable. And you are all capable of doing it. Just sit down and think how it will be inevitable. Easiest way, talk to Momo, talk to Marius. Tell him that if I fail, I will give you 100 euros.
Momo the fundraiser.
So that's that. But now there is another concept which is called a mastermind group that I would like to talk about, which is to help this inevitability. Let's start with a small story. The story has been told many times in different places, details have gotten blurry, but the point is the same. That in some village somewhere close to the sea, I guess, there were 5 boys who grew up together and who well, shared all their life problems, so on. They went to university, but they still kept in touch with each other, and every time that they came back together, maybe even once per year in the summer, took a cabin somewhere, and they just talked about everything that's happening in their life. All the troubles, all the worries, all the successes, shared, helped, and really talked about this. And what happened is that the place where they came from, they then became the most successful people there. By just talking to each other about what they want to achieve, and then having this group support of accountability, that your friends will be there to kick you if you don't do what you told them that you would do. And, well, they became quite successful. Not exactly like this, but... but maybe close enough. So, who knows this guy? No one, okay. His name is Napoleon Hill. Who knows him now?
Yes.
Okay, he, in the 1920s or around that time, got a job by one of the most successful people of that time. And the job was to go around and interview all the successful people in the world and find out how they do it. And he wrote a huge amount of books called Secrets of Success. And then the Great Depression came, he lost all the money he had made. And then he condensed all this information down into one book called Think and Grow Rich. It's a funny book. If you read it, he talks about talking to Einstein, and weird shit in the end. He has dreams about talking to great people. And also how you can use sexual desire to help you achieve stuff by withholding pleasure. But in all that, he also has some good points, and one of them is the concept of the mastermind. And he interviewed a lot of very successful people. For example, also this guy. Him you should know, maybe. His first name is Henry. Last name is Volvo. So this is Henry Ford. He also had a mastermind system with his wife. So that he was the shy guy who didn't really want to do stuff, but his wife was pushing him. And because of this mastermind thing that he had with the wife, of them all the time talking through all this stuff, he succeeded in making his horseless carriage, which we now know as a car. Whereas all his neighbors and everyone was just putting down, saying it's not possible. And so this Napoleon Hill guy interviewed the 500 of the most successful people at the time. All of them had some form of mastermind group that they were doing. So let's let this sink in a bit. All of the 500 most successful people were doing this. I'm beginning to see a pattern. So how does this work? Yeah, you just get a group of friends or enemies or whoever, come together, everyone talks for half an hour, everyone feedbacks for half an hour, go through everyone, and yeah. They say that if you do this kind of regular meetings with your group of trusted mastermind friends, then just like with a startup, you could condense your entire working life into 5 years and get all the benefits of the working life and so on. With a mastermind group, they say that you can condense a lifetime of achievements into 1 year. So, well, they say it. But it probably has a ring of truth to it. So, what I want you to do is to think about your goals, what you want to achieve in your life. And if you feel like it, of course, then during the event you're all waiting for, where you shake off the rust, then talk to a few people. Say, hey, wanna try doing it? Let's meet every first Saturday of the month and talk for a few hours. Let's go to Usa's place. Let's go to Bolivar, have a few millimanicas, talk about life, and it works. So, with I hope maybe some of this information can help lift you up into new levels of success, like this guy. Thank you. That's it.
Marius, we have a küsimused.
What do you do the rest of the time after the 5 years?
Work on whatever you want to do. Change the world, make it a better place. Then you are not limited anymore by the resources available to you, and you can achieve great things. Makes sense? Follow your passion.
Why can't you do it all the time?
It depends. You can, of course. If you have something that you can do that either gives you money or you don't need it because you have a wealthy husband, or then you can. If not, and you want to actually do even greater things and you want to have the means to do it, then starting a startup and selling it to Google is the fastest way.
Ja tulemas.
It's a question, but something that started to disturb me also in your survey. You didn't put my answer there. Was the thing that, like, it's all based on the assumption that you need to know where you want to get. So A to B, apply logic, and you get from A to B.
Or apply.
Couldn't it work without the goal?
It can. ask this guy called Steve Jobs. I guess you can't really ask him anymore, but he said that you connect the dots, not looking forward, but looking back. So you do whatever you want to do and trust in yourself that it will all eventually work out. If you're interested in something, like he was interested in calligraphy, so he took courses in calligraphy, and that's why we have fonts on the calligraphy. And it will eventually all work out. Hopefully.
Ja võtame ühe küsimuse veel. Julgelt.
What is your startup?
It's called Cherry.ee.
Ja selle vahva mõttega uurime ka pärast neid igasid taga, mis teie inimesed teevad. Lõpetame Marius Andra.